Right? Some fucking 007 shit.
One.
Good evening. It's November 4th, 2020. Welcome to the all-new On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. Joining me as always here, David Shore. We're coming to you from downtown Lake Worth here at the Bamboo Room. And like last week, tonight we're going to be talking Team MMA, among other things. We'll get into MMA, boxing, football, and more.
Kickboxing.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
We'll also be joined this evening by a pair of guests. They'll both be on the fight card coming up. They are scheduled there. And speaking of the upcoming fight card, I do want to tell you about it once again. Here, downtown Lake Worth, at the Bamboo Room, outside venue, December 12th. Doors open at 6:30. First fight at 7 o'clock. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Make sure you download that app. Once you do, you'll be able to purchase tickets to the event. Hopefully you come out, take a look at it. It's going to be a nice, breezy, let's just predict the weather, a nice, breezy, clear Saturday afternoon, won't it be?
I believe
I'm pretty sure I'm a meteorologist, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, only on TV.
And, you know, talking about MMA, we have to talk about our Team MMA, of course, and, you know, we can't go a week without making some tweaks to the card. I mean, it wouldn't be like us if we didn't. So here to tell you a little bit more about that is my buddy David over here. David, what kind of changes have been made to the card?
Quite a few, actually. So we're going to have Nelton Mars first, Kevin Navas. We had them on last week. Nelton's Smiley, he goes by. He's a super energetic, badass dude. And then we also have Kevin Navas. They're both planning on going pro maybe as of next year after this fight. So I'm looking forward to that. And like you said, it's consistently changing, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be a great card. And like we have one of the fighters on that's about to come on soon that I'm looking forward to talking to.
Yeah, again, a couple of these guys are going to be coming on tonight. One from Team MMA, of course. One is going to be fighting in a prelim and is making his MMA debut. We'll have them both on, you know, to talk to us a little bit about what they're doing, how they're preparing. But even before the Team MMA, you know, it's November 4th. what's important about today? Why did I bring up the date? Well, because what's going on in the background, for all you people that are going to watch this back later on, there's a presidential race going on, and no one has any idea what's going on. So we suggested here at RIZE, we should get these guys in a cage. Trump and Biden in a cage.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Winner takes all? Take the country?
I don't know who I'd bet on, truthfully. It would be interesting. I like to see Bernie throw a kick in there if he was able to, you know.
That's it. That's exactly right. Somebody's going to cheat. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody definitely will be cheating. Maybe in both. Maybe both of them. You don't really know what's going to happen. But until we can have that fight set up, maybe that'll be the next card, because that might drag out for a while anyway. But before that, of course, we're going to be talking Team MMA. So we are going to go ahead and bring the guests on with us now. We have them backstage already. First fighter that's going to be coming on to talk to us today is going to be coming to us, again, he is going to be on the prelims. It's Al Durgalo. We've had him on the show before. Goes by the Soul Taker. And Al, it's been some time, but we spoke with you a few months back, talking about putting you back on a card again. Nice to see you again, buddy. How you doing? Doing pretty well. Bro. What have you been up to these last? Last time you were with us, you fought on the rooftop card back in January. It was a kickboxing match. You got your win there, and now you're coming in with your MMA debut. And tell us a little bit about how you prepared for this event.
Mostly a lot of grappling, a lot of adjusting from the kickboxing to MMA. Just a lot of that stuff. Definitely trying to work on the transition from getting up from the ground back to standing up to the feet and defending the takedowns. A lot of things in that aspect.
That's what's up. So you're training at Palm Beach Boxing?
Yes, sir. Same coach as usual, Matt Barrows.
Nice. And how's that going?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're looking good. We're advancing every day. We're getting better every day.
Yeah, it's hot in Palm Beach Boxing, right? You guys still don't have AC? The door cracked?
They've been having AC, but now it's been getting a little cooler out, so they've been opening up the garages too, so we get a real sweat in.
Oh yeah, I remember I went there a few times. They didn't have AC cranking. I was sweating, bro. Like I was super sweating. So I know that it's intense training when there's no air and you're over here doing boxing training.
Oh yeah. You see those pros in there too, sweating their butts off, and you're like, man, holy crap.
For sure. So you see David Troch in there as well?
Yeah, I always see David. I actually spar with his guys on Friday nights, so I'm always in there with him on Friday nights.
Nice. And so Brandon Carroll's with him sometimes?
Brandon.
Or what kind of pros do you have?
I know a guy. Andy just fought on your guys' card.
Yeah.
Yeah, 235 guy, I think. Other than, I'm not too good with the names though, so don't quote me on the names.
Right. Well, Andy's pretty good, huh? I gave him credit for sticking in so long on that last fight. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, man, he's a tough kid. Maybe you want to see him down at a little lighter of a weight, but he's definitely a tough kid. He's got a future out of him.
For sure. And what are you weighing in at? You're at 155, right?
Yeah, I'm going down to 155. My last fight was 170, but I'm looking to go to 55, maybe be a little bigger of a guy down there.
Cut out on the donuts?
Yeah, cut down at the McDonald's, too.
I hear you, bro. It's hard. It's a lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. So you're working on grappling, and you're good to go as far as that aspect goes?
Oh, yeah. My stand-up aspect, I've been working on that my whole life, so it's definitely time to get into the grappling part of it and make it as sharp as my stand-up.
That's what's up. And you look at Israel Adesanya with the kickboxing, coming off of 81 wins and then dominate UFC just by not able to be taken down whatsoever. So it's pretty inspirational for any kickboxing person.
Yeah, he's my inspiration, not Darren Till. Darren Till.
You said that and Darren Till or not?
No, not Darren Till, not Darren Till.
I would like to see them fight one day.
Yeah, right. I mean, that guy can't block a takedown for his life, though.
I know. Yeah, right. I can't wait to see Israel versus Jan too. That should be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a good fight.
That's what's up. So any special things you're working on? Is your kicks getting even sharper than usual?
I mean, yeah, my kicks. I work on my kicks. I throw 1,000 kicks a day, so I mean, they're always staying sharp. Other than that, I mean, the clinching. I definitely want to work on the clinching because that's a really big aspect of MMA now. I mean, when I first started, when I was younger, it wasn't as big as it is, but everybody seems like they love to clinch now.
Well, for sure. That's what's up. So how confident are you feeling about MMA?
I'm feeling good. I mean, like I said before, I've been doing this forever for a long time. I've been fighting my whole life, and I have a lot of experience that I just haven't applied yet. So you'll definitely be seeing that on December 12th.
That's what's up. And you're excited. It's local too, so it's going to be at the Bamboo Room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got tours. They're
streaming.
going to sponsor me and everything like that. So we're looking good on that.
That's what's up. Hopefully, we'll have, like I said, get some fireworks together or something, making a huge show. So I'm super excited. We got a lot of stuff planned for it.
Cool.
Yeah, Al, I remember we spoke back. It probably was about March. I want to say that was the original On the Rise show, which we've now come back new and improved. But you were probably one of the guests that came onto the show with us back then. And I remember having, a lot of back and forth with you. And what I remember about you is you're a very intelligent guy. And the way you described how you fight, you always seem to be 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps ahead of your opponent, kind of knowing exactly what to expect your opponent to do. Obviously, that's something that you can carry over to MMA. How do you think something like that better prepares you for a sport like this, where there's obviously multiple types of things going on at once?
To be honest with you, my fighter IQ. I have a really high fighter IQ. I believe. I've been doing this forever. I've been watching this sport forever. I know I have very good ring presence, if that makes sense too. I can generalize the ring a lot very well. Just my experience, just the experience I've trained with for a long time. I just have that confidence in myself.
Okay. We obviously just added you to the cards. This is all brand new to you, but we still have 5 weeks out before the fight, so I'm sure that's plenty of time for you to get into a training camp and do what you got to do to be prepared, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And as far as the weight, I know you kind of went back and forth. You're going to drop the McDonald's and the donuts, as you said. Is that something that's ever really difficult for you to do? Are you somebody who can dehydrate very easily, hydrate right back up again when you step into a cage?
Well, actually, my last fight, I cut, but it wasn't a very hard weight cut at all. I didn't have to dehydrate or anything like that. I was actually underweight about 3 or 4 days going into the fight, and my diet is pretty good. My diet gets me down pretty quick too, and no, I've never really had to dehydrate, so I can't say yes or no if I'm a guy that dehydrates quickly or not.
Okay, understood. Al, I want you to hang tight with us for a little bit here. What we want to bring our other guest in here. We know he's been waiting patiently backstage there. So for everyone that's watching this, we wanted to have David Bell come on last week. We had a scheduling conflict, couldn't have him on, but we had his opponent, Richard Mayol, on. So David Bell and Richard Mayol will be fighting, and basically our headliner of the Team MMA card, the very last fight of the night, should be one of the best that we're looking forward to seeing as well. That's at the welterweight 170 weight limit. And, we saw Richard Mayol last fight card. He got a pretty fantastic win there. Definitely earned his way into the finals. David Bell, unfortunately, his opponent did not make it to the fight. And David was unable to fight. And let me tell you, when I say he was ready, this man was in shape and he was ready to go. I'm not kidding. He was ready. And he expressed his displeasure on how his opponent didn't make it to that fight that night when we talked to him on camera night of the fight. So, David, it's been a long time that you've been in training, ready for this fight, having not had this fight. Are you ready to explode at this point, or what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been training for this fight since January. Like COVID hit and all the fights got canceled, and luckily my gym, I was in a position where I got to keep training through the whole shutdown and stuff. But yeah. I mean, the guy didn't show up. We just went right back to training camp Monday, and just here we are. I'm ready to fight, man. I'm ready to get in there and fuck somebody up, dude. It's been way too long since I stepped in the cage. I'm
sure, bro. That's what's up. So you've been what's your main focus when you've been training? Anything special, or just working on grappling, or all around just same old routine?
Yeah, we just do the same thing, man. We don't adjust other people's game plans or the way they fight. We make it our fight every time. So we're just gonna keep doing the same thing we always do. I was lucky enough I got to watch Richard fight last time. I watched the whole fight. I saw everything he did. You know what I mean? So, he comes from a good gym. He's a strong kid, nice guy, but I just simply don't think he has the experience to last that long in there with me.
Did you see any weaknesses in his game since you were there watching it?
I mean, there wasn't a lot happened. He kind of just hugged the dude on the fence for a few minutes and took him down and choked him. I mean, that dude was kind of a soup can, to be honest. You know, I don't want to talk shit about the guy, but he's gonna have a way different fight with me. It's not gonna be that kind of fight. He's not gonna be able to hold me down like that, and we're certainly not gonna hug each other for 5 minutes. I'll be that shit quick.
For sure. Well, you guys are roughly around the same size, right? And you just, I think, a bigger build, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm coming down from 85. I fought middleweight also, but yeah, I just was too lazy to cut weight. Now this will probably be my last amateur fight, or one of my last few amateur fights before I go pro. I plan on being pro, you know, by like February or March for sure.
That's what's up.
There's one more fight I'd like to have in amateur. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier. You want to tell everyone your routine for a day as far as your work schedule, or
Yeah, man, we've been kicking ass, bro. I get up at 6 a.m. We train Muay Thai for 2 hours. Go home, eat breakfast, go to the gym, lift weights for about an hour and 15 minutes. Then I go to work, hop on my break, hit a 5-mile run. Then I go back to work. Then I get off, eat, hydrate, and go to bed. Shit, this keep me up.
Damn.
I got motherfucking training to do in the morning.
I was gonna say you look kind of tired and irritated when we were talking to you. I'm like, oh, this guy needs to hurry up and get out of here and go to bed.
Yeah, it's cool, man. This is all part of the ride, dude. This is all part of the game.
I was saying that would be neat to have like a section on just how much people can like lift and shit like that, just to see like what's your max on like deadlifting.
Me, I mean, I don't really max out too much anymore, but I hit like 505 a couple months ago. Put that shit on my Instagram.
That's what's up, bro. I'm like half of that.
If you're watching, that's my Instagram. Follow you, boy. Check out the training camp.
What was it again? I was talking.
Throwing kicks. It's right there on the screen. I don't know if everybody can see it.
Sick.
Follow me on Instagram. Check out the game. Check out the training camp. We're going hard.
That's what's up, bro. And so you're on the confident level from 0 to 10. Where do you stand?
Like at least at 11. I mean, I just don't see this guy really being able to fight me. You know, I mean, he's a good dude. He's from a great gym. You know, I mean, I got mad respect for them, but I feel like this is a mismatch.
Right. Like you said, you've been preparing for so long, and then you've been waiting. You know, you're harassing me all the time. You predicted the guy wouldn't show up. I was like, oh man, he's messaging me again.
It's like my fight, or like my 9th fight. I can feel it in the force.
I'm saying, I couldn't believe it. You called it too. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It happens.
Yeah, so you're coming down here from Tampa hungry, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. We're going to fucking kick some ass, dude. That's what we came to do last time. That's what everybody but me did. Now this time I'm going to do it by myself.
For sure. Any focus point, like as far as like predictions? First round, distance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have like a game plan. You know, I just kind of go out there and just see what happens. But in a perfect world, I'd like to keep it standing, you know, just because it's more exciting for both of us fighting, and it's more exciting for the crowd. You know what I mean? Everybody likes a good brawl. But, you know, I mean, I feel like if it goes to the ground, then I'm going to have a much easier fight. You know, I mean, if it goes to the ground, I can probably win without really getting hit a lot, which will be really boring. But, you know, that's what I got to do. That's what I'll do.
When you want to shoot for like a highlight reel, if this is going to be your actual last amateur fight, so you want to make sure it looks good.
Yeah, I like to go out with a bang. That would be fun.
Definitely.
We'll see, man. I'll be 2 divisional champion on December 13th.
I seen the belts. They're looking pretty sick too.
That's what's up, dude. I need a welterweight to go with the middleweight belt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just had a couple things for you, David. I wanted to ask you, you know, obviously this is all fairly new here with RIZE, with the whole team MMA experience. But, you know, what would it mean to you, you know, to be able to take home the welterweight championship belt, the inaugural belt here from RIZE? How would that help you think, move forward in what you want to do?
Well, it'd be nice. It'd be a real cherry on the top of this shit cake that 2020 was. Like, I mean, everything this year sucked. So it'd be nice to get a belt, you know, just to kind of, you know, like as a reward for all the hard training and shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just another belt, you know what I mean? Like it's I'm really more interested in the fight and the experience, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure Richard's training real hard for this, you know what I mean? I hope he fights smart because I want the best fight possible. because win or lose, I'd rather lose to a monster than beat a chump. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, what I found interesting here, I was just thinking about this as you were talking, is that, you're part of the Tampa Bay team, or what's left of it. And your Tampa Bay team mascot is the Soul Takers. Your man over here, Al Durgalo, that is his nickname. He is the Soul Taker. So there's something you got in common.
We actually planned that out the whole time.
How funny is that? That actually wasn't planned for the show. But, how funny is that it worked out that way? But David, obviously Al's on his way in as far as amateur MMA career. David, you're on your way out of the amateurs into the pros. But I was wondering what you might be able to advise our friend Al over here about what he should do to kind of get himself more involved in what he is capable of doing in the amateur ranks.
I'll tell you what, man. My best advice would be that in the beginning, you always get real nervous and for fights. But at the end of the day, at the end of every fight I ever did, I was like, damn, that was over really fast. I wish that would have lasted a little bit longer. You know what I mean? It's best to just get excited. You know what I mean? Because it's an amateur fight. Nobody even gives a shit if you lose. I know there's nobody in this room that could tell me what Israel Adesanya's amateur record was, because nobody gives a fuck. So just you train hard, man. Put on a good fight, and if you lose, who gives a shit, bro? I was real worried about losing in the beginning, but you stop caring. That's probably my best advice.
Cool. I appreciate the advice.
Yeah, Al, just before we take off, wondering if you had any questions for David at all. I mean, having the experience already, a few fights under his belt, that you might want to know from him, maybe how he prepares.
That was some great advice just now. I mean, I've heard from a lot of people telling me, the guy across from me is just as nervous as you are going into a fight. That's really the biggest thing for an amateur fighter, I believe. Anyway, is just confidence, a lot of confidence. Correct me if I'm wrong, David.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not nervous at all going into this fight, and it's a good feeling, man. You'll never. It's a lot of fun, dude. Fighting is just fun as shit, right? That's why we do it. It's literally the most fun thing I know that I'm allowed to do.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
I have experience, man. I've been training since I was 15 years old. I'm 24 now. I got out of it for a little while, did some partying and stuff like that. So I should be further than I am, but I'm gung ho. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it.
That's what's up, man. I love kickboxing. Is my first love.
Yes, sir. There's nothing better than standing and banging, man.
Oh yeah.
So normally we have the fighters on that are facing each other in the fight when we have the fighters on together. So this sucks, man. You guys can't talk shit to each other. I mean, feel
fight if I get another amateur fight.
No,
we were supposed to fight.
I trained with him for a long time. Well, for about a year, I was training with him and Sonny Parlin down in Bradenton.
Yeah, he's really good. That's why I want to fight him. He's if I'm not the best welterweight in the state, he might be. So that's why I'd like to fight him next if I could.
See his mascot and the guy he wants to fight. You set us up. You set it up perfectly.
I know, bro. That's funny. That's
funny. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much
for coming on. We'll talk to you again soon, and good luck on the 12th.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care, Al.
Well, that
All
was
right.
pretty chipper, huh?
That was nice. Yeah. I mean, I definitely enjoyed, the information we got from both of them. And as I mentioned, we had Al on. I know you didn't take part of that conversation a few months back, but Al's a very sharp guy. That's what I learned a few months back. So I think he's, somebody that you really have to watch out for. I know he's just going to get started in his MMA career, but definitely somebody that everyone should be paying attention to. So it would be a great preliminary match. It could prove to be an exciting match early in the show.
I'm looking forward to the prelims. Truthfully, we still have, we got Big John coming on versus Blake. That's going to be a sick, Blake representing Hawaii. It's going to be an explosive heavyweight bout. I love talking to them. I've been watching both of them train on their social medias. Tanks, so it's going to be super sick to see that going on. A lot of these fights are shaping up to be super epic. So, I mean, I hope everyone's getting ready to buy the tickets because it's limited seats. Everything has to be spaced out, and it's gonna be epic. Outside, I'm gonna enjoy it a lot. So I'm pumped up for it.
Yeah, anybody who came out to the RIZE show back in January on the rooftop here in West Palm Beach, I mean, it was beautiful. The weather was actually very, very nice. Nobody was sweating, it was hot, it wasn't raining. I know Armando was getting afraid that it was going to rain that night. It kind of threatened, but you know what?
Did you put your meteorologist hat on for that too?
Of course.
As well?
I did the opposite of the rain dance just to make sure it wouldn't happen. And we had a pretty clear night.
You gotta show me how that dance goes one day.
That's right. Next show.
Okay.
But so that's going to be definitely a great event. And Al Derglo, as we mentioned, he's going to be taking on Rainy El Naranjo at 155. He said he's coming out from 177 to do so. So definitely a fight to watch, in addition to all the other fights you've already mentioned to us. And I believe you did talk at the top of the hour that Alex Abreu is going to be taking on Javon Green at 170. That's the other addition to the card. So, that's Team MMA in a nutshell. We do have a couple of things within Team MMA that we probably have to smooth out, one being in the lightweight division. We're going to work on that. We will have a result for that and tell you exactly how that's going to go down, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that match.
Can't wait to see Justin Starks take off again.
If you saw the last event, you want to watch him again.
For sure.
So that's Team MMA. So we're going to move on from that portion of the show again, and let's go back. We'll keep the same setup that we had last week, and let's talk some UFC.
Yeah, it's an interesting card last Saturday. It was kind of sad to see Anderson Silva lose versus Uriah Hall. He honestly didn't look too washed up. I was kind of disappointed in Dana White saying that it's Anderson Silva's last fight. I think that it's kind of unfair. I mean, you can't say anything's unfair in MMA because it's a guy versus a guy who knows what's going to happen. But I mean, a top-ranked fighter, versus someone that's kind of going downhill like Anderson Silva, 45 years old, that's not going for a title match. I think he should be more fighting someone that's, also not as up there. I would say someone that's coming out on the slope too, maybe like a Chael Sonnen or something, some fun rematches or something like that. I know that there's some MMA leagues that are starting to do like older fighters coming back to fight, kind of like how Tyson's fighting Roy Jones in the future. So I like to see Anderson Silva go to that, because I don't think Dana White said there's any UFC fights for Anderson Silva anymore. So, it is what it is. But there were some good fights for sure. Also, the Israel Adesanya news that he's fighting Jan Blachowicz in the future. I think I might have called that last week. That's the next go-to fight. I'm looking forward to that as well. I like to see that guy be a two-time or three-time champion. I think it's possible with his skill set, and then you have the drama with John Jones and Israel Adesanya going back and forth, and now it's almost a troll move for Israel Adesanya to take the belt that John Jones just vacated and basically say, come get your belt back or whatever. But honestly, I think that saga is going to go on for a few years, so you never know about that, But UFC is always exciting, and I enjoy almost every minute of it. I also like Bryce Mitchell. He's one of my new favorite fighters. He's super country. I love country guys, and all he wanted is camo shorts, and he got it. Also, there was Greg Hardy versus I believe it's Green, and Greg Hardy's a football monster himself. He's a pure athlete, and he's got Rashad Evans training him now, and
Thanks, Cowboy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Cowboys. You can't even bring up Cowboys in conversations at the current moment. You know, I'm ready to see Jerry Jones go out there and throw a football because I don't know who else is. I swear to God, if they pay me decent money, I'd try. You know, but yeah, Rashad Evans training Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy looked like an actual super professional and not doing anything, you know, kind of silly. I know he's been disqualified for, you know, dumb stuff in the past as far as using an inhaler, which I don't know what kind of corner man would pass your guy an inhaler knowing it's against the rules or whatever to kind of as a stimulant to get back up and fighting and breathing again. I mean, if you could do that, and you know, regularly, everyone would probably be doing it. You know,
Sure.
so it seemed common knowledge. And but no, looked like he had more of a gas tank and looked like he looked a lot more confident and a lot more. Basically, when these big guys throw punches, it's a lot of energy. You know, I mean, you don't want to be wasting any energy. You want to put it all to the every percentage count. You know,
Right.
so he looked great. He looked super good, and I'm looking forward to seeing him fight more for sure. And like I said, Rashad Evans coaching, that's pretty badass. You know, I love Rashad Evans from the past, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. What's that? And Dean Thomas, correct. Yeah, they're starting a new training camp. So I know a lot of people from Top Team, they're going over there, and they're starting to get a whole team together. So I can't wait to see maybe like a resurrection of some sort of Black Zillions or something like that. You know, you never know. Maybe JT will go help them. Who knows? You know, I know they're all friends. So, yeah. I haven't really paid attention, truthfully.
So, yeah, what about the Contender? I know that was just on. We were watching a little bit of that just as we were sitting down to do the show, and I heard a big knockout happen kind of off in the background. Did you catch to find out what that was all about?
I just saw a front kick to the face, truthfully. I'm not exactly sure. I know we have some local guys going to be fighting soon, but, you know, Contender's the best. I highly recommend watching that. There's always something crazy happening, and it's cool to follow people that are up and coming, just like these amateur fights, like these, you know, like I said, Kevin Novice and, you know, other fighters going pro soon. Apparently David Bell's going to be going soon pro.
Danny Sabatello is going to be on the
Yeah.
Danny Sabatello is going to be on the Contender.
He made his debut with us.
Right. Okay. So apparently David Sabatello made our Danny. I'm sorry. Made his debut at RIZE. So I mean, just like I said, you never know who you're actually watching. That's why I enjoy watching amateur fights or whatever, because these guys are going to be the next top contender, and you were there for that, you know.
Right.
And you know, it's cool living down in South Florida to see all kind of local fighters. I've seen, you know, Rashad Evans. I've seen Rumble Johnson. You know, just seeing these local guys at these local gyms. You know, one day, you know, it's kind of get starstruck. You know, so it's exciting to see for sure.
I know that you know, Armando stays in touch with Rashad Evans from time to time. Matter of fact, we talked about possibly having him on as a guest on one of the shows upcoming. So
Hopefully.
possibly we'll have him on next week. Don't quote me on that quite yet, but we'll let you know once we know.
I love that for sure.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to see him and hear about his experience and everything he's been able to do and what he's doing now, because I know he's helping a lot of fighters out, especially some of the fighters we've been talking to, even as it relates to Team MMA. So nice to hear from his angle exactly what's going on.
Definitely.
So that's the world of UFC, huh?
Yep. That's
All
it.
right.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, that's it. UFC in 5 minutes or less. And I was just going to throw in some boxing news, because why not, right? I mean, there's always things going on in the boxing world as well. And, you know, I created a pound-for-pound list, you know, probably a few months back, and who I consider my number 4 pound-for-pound in the world, and a lot of people don't even know who he is the WBC super featherweight champ, Miguel Berchelt. The guy's 37-1, 33 knockouts. The guy hasn't lost in 6 years. That was his one lone defeat, and that was that.
Wow.
So he was actually out there. He was getting ready to defend his belt against Oscar Valdez, an undefeated former WBO featherweight champ, 28-0, 22 knockouts. It was going to be a fan-friendly affair. Unfortunately, Berchelt just tested positive for COVID-19, so that fight is off. But Shakur Stevenson, if anybody knows who he is, he was a former WBO featherweight champion as well, held the same belt just after Oscar Valdez vacated it, and he stepped up in weight now. Actually, he's at the super featherweight limit. He's 14-0, 8 knockouts, and he's on the rise, as it were. And that actually could make for a great fight, just to see if Shakur is ready for a fight like that against Valdez. So could be a great fight to see who the next big champion is, kind of rising from it. This past Saturday night, you had a great fight with Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. It kind of went as some of the experts predicted, where Gervonta Davis was able to get inside, do what he had to do, and knock out the great, multi-division champion. But what a knockout it was.
Oh, I saw that. It had
My
tons
God.
of views on YouTube. It was the #1 trending like a few days ago. I definitely watched that. And after listening to your commentating about what was going to happen, you pretty much predicted it, huh?
Yeah.
So I guess everyone's going to start betting on Mike's advice.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it was just kind of right on the money. It's just he's that kind of fighter that you just kind of know what's going to happen. Like you basically know what he's going to do, and you can't stop it.
Wow.
And those are the kind of fighters that are just dangerous.
The
It's
tank,
like
you said?
Tank. Yeah. It's like the days of Mike Tyson. He's Iron Mike. You know exactly what he's going to do.
Right.
Man had no reach. Obviously, he's just going to come inside and start throwing those uppercuts at you. Stay the fuck back and watch out.
Right.
And so Gervonta Davis is exactly what he says he is. He's a tank. He came through. Leo Santa Cruz. Wow, that man's a great champion, and he will be again. Santa Cruz. Unfortunately, in this particular circumstance, Gervonta Davis had his number, and it was just a fight that, to me, looked like it would have matched up. It could have potentially done something, but it would have been Santa Cruz either taking a beating over 12 rounds or inevitably being knocked out, and that was what we leaned towards, and that's just what happened in the middle rounds.
If you didn't see it, check out the YouTube highlight. I think it's like a few-minute clip, but it's definitely intense for sure.
Right, and then, somebody I did not have on my pound-for-pound list, and I remember after I made the list, I had talked to the guys about the fact that I didn't put him on. It was only because he was just sort of coming up, and people really hadn't known who he was, but it's Naoya Inoue. And
God bless you.
Yeah, exactly. The Japanese superstar, he's coming out, he's becoming somebody, worldwide now, no longer just in Japan. But, he had a beautiful technical knockout himself. And when I say technical knockout, I mean, he knocked him out, but he was so technical in how he did it. So let's not confuse what I mean when I say technical knockout. But that looked like that would have been the highlight of the night until Gervonta Davis did exactly what he did just a couple of hours later. So definitely Inoue is somebody to watch out for. He's going to be coming up. He will be, to me, he looks like a mini Manny Pacquiao or a younger version of him. He's coming up doing the exact same thing Manny was, following his footsteps. Will he be an 8th division champion? Now, and nobody can anticipate anybody ever being that. But the way that he's able just to carry that weight with him each time he steps up to the new division, in the technical aspect of exactly what he can do, he's definitely somebody that will be a superstar. It's a superstar in the making. In sadder news, Adrian Broner, the 4-division champ, who's a friend of the group, he last fought Manny Pacquiao a little less than 2 years ago, back in January 2019. And of course, Manny beat him. That's when Manny had his resurgence and came back out of the ashes. Adrian Broner was just jailed yesterday. He was arrested and thrown in jail for contempt of court because he failed to pay on his civil lawsuit.
I saw that he was showing money on Instagram or something. Is that the guy?
Yeah, that's exactly right. He claimed, he didn't have any money and he couldn't pay the civil lawsuit with the sexual assault allegation that was against the woman.
You gotta be careful what you post on social medias.
So he kind of gets himself in trouble, and you know what? It's interesting how his nickname is Trouble, and it's exactly what he gets himself into over and over again.
How much money he showed? My question.
Yeah, it was just wads of cash.
Wads.
He's a very flashy guy. He's always been. I mean, he wears a diamond-studded necklace, the AB. He called himself AB about billions. He was attempting to follow in Floyd Mayweather's footsteps and trying to be money like that, whatever he could do to emulate that. So, Broner, he just says certain things, does certain things, and unfortunately gets himself into some trouble. He's a nice guy. I've known the guy a while. He is a good guy. It just he gets himself into some trouble. That's all you can say. Anyway, he was scheduled to start making his comeback this January. He was going to have a great fight. They hadn't named exactly who his opponent was, but it was a very small list. It was going to be a big mega fight. It was going to be something on pay-per-view, January, in a big venue. Don't know what the status of that will be at this point because of what's going on in his life at this point. But hopefully he can shake it off and come back. We'd like to see him back in the ring once again. And then with Tyson Fury, everybody was waiting for this Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder 3, rubber match, so to speak. And unfortunately, it's not something we're going to be seeing for a while because Tyson Fury will not be fighting Deontay Wilder next. He's actually, I've first heard from a source earlier today, he's fighting a gentleman by the name of Ajit Kabayel. Ever heard of him?
No.
Neither has anyone else.
Come on.
Okay. This guy's 20-0. He's got 13 knockouts. The only thing that he's actually known have done is beating Derek Chisora 3 years ago. Only name under his belt that's worth even looking at. So this is a guy that obviously just a Tyson Fury trying to take on a guy to say, hey, look, the guy's, he's undefeated. But it's not, I mean, come on. This is just one of these tune-up fights for Tyson Fury to get himself ready for the next one. And whether that be Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, that remains to be seen. Does have a contract to fight Anthony Joshua twice next year, so he may just be prepping for that because he wants to hold the date. This fight here against Ajit Kabayel should be taking place somewhere next month. So to be short notice for Kabayel, should be coming in.
Where does he fight out of, do you know?
Where does Kabayel fight out?
Yeah.
He's German, so I believe he still does make his home in Germany. I'm not sure if he's a training camp here in the States or not,
Cool.
but most of the fights has taken place over there overseas.
Nice.
Again, you know, we'll see what this guy Kabayel has. You never know, right? You never know. But Tyson Fury is one of the great ones, and so it'll be tough to say that Fury's not going to have a chance. Tyson Jones, you talked about that earlier. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Still on for November 28th. A lot of people mocked it and said, you know, they're going to push it back. They're going to keep pushing it back. These guys are fit. They're ready. They're in training. I've seen a lot of training videos with them, and they're ready to go. November 28th is just around the corner, just a few weeks away. Excited to see that happen. There's a couple of really good fights on the undercard. One of which, I've got some news that I think, I always love talking about these guys. Got to talk about these guys. So Jake Paul, brother of Logan Paul, looks like he broke his hand, guys. He's not coming out to admit that, but I know in fact, he was in the hospital just a few days ago. He definitely had an injury, and I know it was to the hand. Apparently he punched or did something he shouldn't have hit or done, and I think he did some damage. So whether he broke the bone, fractured it, I don't know exactly the extent of the injury itself. You know, it could be a publicity stunt. We really don't know exactly what it is, but I know that his fight is definitely in danger of not happening. He's supposed to be fighting basketball player, I couldn't tell you his name, slam dunk champion, you know, a guy who hadn't fought in boxing before. So we'll see if that fight still takes place. I think he's still trying to promote the card. He doesn't want to come out and admit that. And then connected to that, of course, is his brother Logan Paul, who Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather still have not come out to disclose the fact that they're still having that fight that we all know they're having, but they refuse to come out and say anything about that, and that fight's probably only about 6 or 7 weeks away from what I understand. So, you know, maybe we'll hear more about that in the next coming weeks.
I was going to ask you, who do you predict to win, Tyson versus Jones?
See, that's actually a good question. It really is. I know Tyson's getting himself back into it. He's going to be coming into the ring a much bigger guy. It's supposed to be an exhibition match. I don't know if these guys really know that, because I don't think that they know what exhibition really is. These kinds of guys don't do that.
Right.
I think that Tyson's going to be coming at him quick and fast, but Jones, he's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of defensive maneuvers. If Jones can keep away from Tyson, and Tyson does tire himself out just a little bit in those first couple rounds, I think he'll take some of the steam off his punches. I think Jones will be able to absorb just a little bit of it. And if it goes into the middle to later rounds, Jones is going to take over.
How many rounds is it?
I think it's an 8-round exhibition match. They're only 2-minute rounds, not 3.
Yeah.
12-ounce gloves, I believe. So, you know, some good conditions behind it that obviously make it not a true sanctioned fight. But yeah, Tyson's going to come in, and maybe they did the 2-minute rounds specifically because of Tyson, the fact that he probably doesn't have the stamina he once had. You know, he's going to run out of breath a little quicker. So if they're shorter rounds, he can, you know, go out there and just try to do what he can do for 2 full minutes rather than 3. But we'll see. You know, I don't know if he'll have the time to be able to come in there and do what he's got to do.
Right.
It's either going to be a quick knockout by Tyson or it's going to be a decision by Jones. That's really kind of how I see it going. But it's interesting to see. It's something that, you know, has been many, many years in the making. They talked about doing this fight back in 1996. Never came to fruition. You know, now we finally get the opportunity to see it. It's a little different.
I think Jones has been more active though, right? Jones is like 2018 or 19 he's fought
Yeah,
last?
just a couple of years ago. He was still fighting.
I think Island fights, I'm pretty sure he fought with. Right?
Yeah, I believe so. And then Tyson hasn't fought in 15 years. So
Right.
you got a lot of ring rust to shake off there. Yeah, I know he's coming as a bigger guy, but he's also coming in because he was a little bit overweight and out of shape. I know he's gotten himself back in shape. He's got some great trainers. Let's see what he can do. I still think there's going to be some muscle memory there, but I think there's going to be some growing pains back in the ring as well. I think Jones is going to look a lot more natural when he comes in there. So again, if Tyson just can't land those shots and Jones can figure out the foot movement, I think Jones can last it, come back, and actually show what he can do. And we'll kind of see how it goes, you know. But it actually should be a very interesting fight just to see these two superstars in the ring after all these years. And so, yeah, we'll move on from boxing and let's talk a little NFL. What you got there, David?
Miami Dolphins showing up. I can't believe it. I mean, I thought it was a Tua show, but apparently it's the Miami Dolphins defense show. Every good football team is based on the defense, and our defense showed up last week, beat the Rams pretty decisively. And it's great to have that kind of backing with a young quarterback that's just trying to get his roots down. Tua looked okay. He got, I think, 80-something yards. He didn't get any interceptions. But I'm interested to see Tua challenge, and that's what I'm really like to see. I know he's injury prone, so hopefully he can avoid any injury. I like to see his speed, and I mean he flicked a couple passes really quickly, but I like to see him take off and watch his full speed and full effect. And next week we're going against the Arizona Cardinals, which has Murray, and he's a speed demon himself. So it's going to be interesting to see two speedy quarterbacks taking off, going toe for toe, and see what happens. Hopefully our defense can slow Murray down, and we can take another win and work up our division. Right now our division's not looking too tough. I mean, the Patriots are finally not the best team. The Bills are looking too hot. They're off and on. Past few games have been off. I'm hoping that somehow a couple more wins and a couple more losses from the Bills, we could take over the division and hopefully work our way to a divisional spot. But I'm always wishful thinking, I'm a Dolphins fan, so you gotta dream big, but we're looking real good. We also got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay beat the Giants. That was a pretty interesting game. I thought Tampa Bay was going to swamp them, and they actually put up some competition. So, the NFL is always pretty exciting, I also do fantasy football, and I got destroyed by a couple players, and it's pretty unfortunate they weren't on my teams. But you got Adams from Green Bay taking off. We got Aaron Rodgers, and then you got Metcalf, and then you have Cook from the Vikings. Man, what do you get? 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable. I think that might be a missing piece of the puzzle for the Dolphins if we can get our running game going, because that way we can get our quarterback to do the QB, like a pump fake or QB sneak or some kind of other ways to work the ball down the field and keep showing up, and that's the key. But I think we get a couple touchdowns for interception, touchdown, pick sixes, and we're on fire, So I'm feeling real optimistic about the Dolphins. I'm looking forward to seeing this next game. It's gonna be a good tough challenge, but at least we'll be able to set the bar and see where we're at. So I'm excited for that.
I think they finally found their groove. I mean, that was an impressive display of defense last week for sure. It made me think of the '85 Bears. I think I commented to
you mentioned
earlier on, and that was just something. It was just like they were possessed. I mean, it was really great to watch.
Yeah, maybe just the Tua mentality is kicking in, and hopefully hyping up the back and hyping up everyone in the locker room and showing their colors. And right now is a difficult time for all teams, so it's nice to see the Dolphins, as we've been in a rebuilding stage, start to build up to a better team, which is just being in the win columns is definitely is a happy scene for us. So I'm optimistic about the next couple games, and hopefully we can claim some territory in our division.
For sure.
I think we're second right now, I believe.
Yeah, backed up behind the Bills. Right. And so, you got one lone undefeated team still out there, and you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, 7-0.
Oh, man.
You think these guys are the real deal or what?
They're the real deal. Their defense is unbelievable. They're Roethlisberger is such an experienced Super Bowl quarterback. You got Juju Schuster. You got, I forgot the rookie's name. My buddy's going to kill me, but they're on fire. They're doing really well, and I'm excited. They got Connor, their running back. Steelers are doing great, and like I said, my best friend's a Steeler fan that has like 15 different Steeler shirts and wears over my house every day. So that's all I ever hear about. But I'm looking forward to seeing them take off. They beat the Ravens, which was a tough task in itself. So
right,
it's I'm hoping the best for them for sure.
And of course, you got the the lone no win team over there in the New York Jets, 0-7.
I love it. I love it, honestly. They're almost as bad as, I don't know who's worse, the Dallas Cowboys or the Jets. It's pretty toss up right now. So I don't know. We'll see. Ezekiel Elliott, they need to trade him over to the Dolphins so we can show him how to win.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the for the Cowboys once again. Knowing that Andy Dalton, of course, will not be playing once again after that concussion protocol.
Well, no, now he's got COVID.
Oh, now he's got COVID.
Yeah, he got concussion. Now he's got COVID, so he's out again.
So now just something else added to the roster.
Like I said, I can't wait. I think Jerry Jones is coming in. He's going to take over. He's going to be the new quarterback. We're going to see him take over.
Whatever works. But as far as the Jets were concerned, I alluded to this last week. We were talking about Trevor Lawrence, who's the the quarterback, of course, of the Clemson Tigers, and slated to be the #1 overall pick in the draft next year. And he made the comment about how he thought, hey, I might stick around college for another year. And we wondered, was that directed at the Jets, thinking, I really don't want to leave if that's where I'm going to play? And it kind of made us all feel like that probably is what it was after a few more days of finding it out. And then I think it was just the day after we last spoke about it, Trevor Lawrence came down with COVID-19, didn't get to play last week. Freaking Clemson looked like crap for the first 3 quarters of their game last week against a team they were favored 31 points over. Now they're coming back and they're playing the #4 team in the country. They're playing Notre Dame without Trevor Lawrence. Can't play. So they may not make it undefeated like they think they will.
Wow.
They're losing their star once again. So tough break for Clemson this week. We'll see what they can do without their superstar. I am very proud to say that the Gators bounced back after the 2-week hiatus they had, not playing for 3 full weeks because of the COVID-19 and the 30-something players that tested positive. They had a very depleted team when they came back this past Saturday, and still, won big. Somehow they, were very resilient to come back and play like that. It's kind of like a man possessed once again like that with them as well. Now you've got at least 3 or 4 teams that I've heard have over 20 plus cases of COVID each on their team, and you've got a whole season in jeopardy because there may not be a postseason in college at this point. So many teams are going to have to cancel their games. They're postponing games. This whole weekend's going to be a complete mess, a whole disaster. So college football as we know it may not be the same the rest of this season, unfortunately. And that's it for the world of sports is concerned. I saw a note. I saw you looking down at my note. So I was just saying that, going back to the presidency once again.
Is he bringing it back up again?
Going back to the presidency, I just want to say to everybody, look, win or lose, no matter who wins or who loses here, stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
I voted for Kanye, so I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
you were that. You were the guy.
Yeah, I was the guy. I was the 0.02%.
But I got to tell you, everybody's kind of shaking in their boots right now. But what's going to happen once the final polls are released from the presidency? People going wild in the streets, looting and rioting and just acting violent. So
the best thing you can do is just download the app, do your research, and just help relax you for sure. RIZE FC. Exactly. Yeah, live MMA and participate and comment and reach out to us. And like I said, we're gonna have drawings soon and all kinds of fun stuff. And it's gonna be an epic event we're planning. So I'm excited to bring it to the audience.
Absolutely. So, that's it for the show tonight. We want to remind you again, as David said, download the app, but also more importantly, those ticket sales are going to begin tomorrow. So we will open up. There's a link right now on the app when you go to it. Right now it is not clickable. We're going to connect that and make that clickable sometime in the next 24 hours. So please be sure to just jump right onto the app, RIZE, R-I-Z-E space FC Fighting Championship. Just go ahead and download that either from Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Make sure you get that on there. And, because I did not mention this earlier and I should have, not only can you obviously view the fights, the past fights, the future fights on the app, and be able to purchase tickets, but we are going to be doing something special for all the people that do download that app. So if you've already downloaded it, or if you plan to download it here in the next couple of days, we're going to be starting to give away some raffles. We're going to be giving away some free tickets to our next show and shows in the future as well. There's also something called a VIP experience that we're going to be discussing a little bit more about maybe in our next show. It's something that you would be able to win if you simply enter. How do you enter?
We're just going to throw you in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
See what happens.
That's the experience.
That's the full VIP
That's called
experience.
the MMA experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, how you enter, simply downloading the app. We'll give you some more information on how that works, but just make sure you start with that, and you'll get to start hearing more about it as we continue on with the rest of the shows. But definitely some good prizes to be given out there. So check it out, pay attention to it, see what it's all about. Of course, you can catch the fights not only through the app, but also through Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, through Facebook Live, through YouTube Live. We've got links connected from our website, through our Facebook page. You can find it virtually anywhere, but the app is really just the key. Check that out, at least have that downloaded so you can be entered into the contests. We'd love to see you guys win some prizes. We'd love to give them away. So that's the show as far as tonight is concerned. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks a lot. Have a great night, everyone. On behalf of the whole RIZE team, Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos, my partner here, David Shore, I'm Mike Feinberg. Have a great night.
Thank you.